Hello, folks. Today we're going to learn how to play Twist and Shout. I was first introduced to the song as recorded by the Beatles. My sister and I probably destroyed my parents' record, just playing it over and over and over again constantly and dancing and singing along to it. The song was written in 1961 by Phil Medley and Bert Burns, and the first recording of the song was actually by a band called The Top Notes. If you haven't heard it, there's a link in the email. It's definitely interesting to hear that version because it's a bit different. Then, of course, the Isley Brothers came along and made it the song that we know today. And, of course, the Beatles' recording of it, is what it is. This song is some three-chord rock at its finest. We're going to be playing it in the key of G, so we're going to be using the G chord, the C chord, and the D chord. We're also going to play the D7. So we'll start off simple, just learning the chords and learning how to just bang them out and play the song. But if you need a little something extra, we're also going to be looking at some of the riffs and solos. All right, let's see what we got. All right, let's start off by looking at some of these chords. So we're playing in the key of G, so we've got our G chord. We're going to have a C chord, then a D chord, and that's going to be followed by a D7. Now, there's some different ways that we can play D7. We can play it like this, where I'm holding down the second frets of my G, C, and E string with one finger, and then adding my second finger to the third fret of the A string, like that. I could also play this form of D7, where I'm playing the second fret of the G, open C, second fret of the E, open A. Both of these are D7s, but the notes are just rearranged a little bit, so we're going to get a different texture out of this D7 versus this D7. Both of them are right. Both of them will work in this song, so you get to decide what is best for you. Now, we're going to be transitioning through some of these chords a little quickly, so for instance, we're going to be going from that D to that D7 pretty quickly. If you're finding that that's not working out for you, or you just don't want to bother worrying about a fourth chord, you can just jump right to that D7. So you can do a G, a C, a D7, and just hang on that D7 a little bit longer. It's still going to work just fine. So if we're looking at the simple structure of the song, we basically have a measure with G and C, and then we switch to D, and then D7. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. I'm going to play it a little bit faster than that, but that's the idea. All right, so there's some intro stuff, but we're gonna come back and we're gonna look at some of those riffs, those all that intro and outro and solos and stuff like that. We're going to look at all that a little bit later. I want to start off by just taking a look at the chords and how it all flows. All right, so we're going to start off by playing our chords twice in a row, and for most of the song, we're just going to be continuing this same pattern over and over. So we'll keep it slow for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is where we transition into the verse. We'll shake it up, baby, now. as I'm playing that, and I'm watching myself as I play that on the screen there, I am seeing how I could be playing that those chords a little bit differently. So when I go from the G, the way that we would normally play this C chord is I would use my ring finger, right, to play the 3rd fret of the A string. You know, we're in first position. If we're using the appropriate fingers, I should be putting my ring finger there. But it makes a little bit more sense. My pinky finger's free. I could do that, and then the rest of my fingers are free to kind of like come down on that D chord however I prefer to play that D, whether it be across like this, or if I have my middle finger in between like that. And either way, my pinky is free to do that D7 shape. And if you prefer, you can always lift up one of those fingers to play the other version of D7. I'm going to stick with this version where I'm playing the this C note on the A string. All right, so let's go from the intro into the verse. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, shake it up, baby, now. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, now. Come on and work it on out. Work it on out. You know you look so good. You know you got me going down. Just like I knew you would. Like I knew you would. You know, we got those backing vocals are written in parentheses on the page there. But then we're gonna go back and we play that first verse again. We'll shake it up, baby, now, and then we have a new verse, the twisted little girl verse, and then we get into the break, the bridge, and with the ahs. Okay, I'm gonna play the first page here. So we'll basically be playing up to the solo break and the ahs. So we start off with the intro. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, shake it up, baby, now. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, baby, now. Come on and work it on out. Work it on out. You know you look so good. You know you got me going now. Just like I knew you would. Well, shake it up, baby, now. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, now. Come on and work it on out. You know you twisted little girl. You know you twist so fine. Twist a little closer now, and let me know that you're mine. Now over the part where we've got the solo here, I'm just playing the same chords. All right, so after we play through the solo chords, we'll get to the solo later, we play the bridge. And the bridge, we're just holding on this D chord, and we're going to turn it into our D7. We're basically going to be doing that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 measures. And on the 6th measure, we come back into the vocals again. We go back into another verse. So I'll count us off, and we'll go through the ahs section. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shake it, baby, now. We'll shake it, baby, now. We'll shake it, baby, now. We go back into that bridge. But we only do it 3 times at the end there, because then we go into this little outro. Again, we'll get to that a little bit afterwards, that little outro riff. You could, if you didn't want to do that, you could just end on a G after all the ahs, or a G7. Just end on a G or a G7 after all the ahs. I want to talk about the strumming pattern that I'm using here. Now, we can keep the strumming pattern a lot simpler than that, like we said at the beginning. So I could just kind of think, bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Well, shake it up, baby, now. Twist and shout. And everything's still going to fall into place. All right, so let's try playing through the whole song. So the 2 pages, I'm gonna play through the 2 pages. I've got a weird page turn that I have to reach around the camera to make. So hopefully I will be able to edit this smoothly, so it just goes from one page to the next, and you won't even know, except for the fact that I said it. Okay, so we start with the intro, and we're gonna play the intro chords twice, and then we go into the first verse there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shake it up, baby, now. Twist and shout. the twist and shout, just chords and lyrics. But if you're feeling good about that, let's take a look at some of the riffs. You've got another PDF called Twist and Shout Riffs. Now here we've got tablature and standard notation showing you how to play all those fun guitar parts that you hear in the Beatles recording. And if I'm remembering correctly, they're horn parts on the Isley Brothers recording. So we'll start off with the intro. Now for the intro, we're just playing on 2 strings. We're just playing on our C string and our E string. And we're going to be starting off on the 2nd fret of our C string. And in that first measure, we play 2nd fret of the C, open E, 2nd fret of the E. So we can just try getting that nice and smooth. Okay, and then we move on to the next measure, and I'm playing the 3rd fret of the E now. And I play that 2 times. Then I play open C, followed by open E, and I finish off that phrase with the 2nd fret of the C again. I'm going to play it all together so you can kind of get a sense of what it's supposed to sound like. So we're starting off with an incomplete measure, so we don't have a full 4 count in there. We're just starting off on those that last beat and a half of a measure that doesn't exist. So I might start off by counting 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 4 and. So that's going to be the count for that first part of the little lick there. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 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 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to count it a little bit slower, and we'll walk through that same thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now it's always good to count through parts like this slowly, things that have like kind of funky little rhythms. Making sure that your fingers know where to go is going to be the first priority. Then you can start figuring out, okay, where's my rhythm at? Does this sound like it's supposed to? Am I just blowing through the notes? You know, that doesn't sound like the song. That doesn't sound like the part. But that's the first thing that you want to do. So even if you're just like walking through really slowly, 1 note at a time, and just take as long as you need to get to each of those parts until after time you've played it a bunch, and then your fingers know where they need to go, and then you can start finessing, okay, how does the rhythm of this go? All right, let's move on to the solo. So before the ahs, we have this little solo, okay, and it's the little riff that goes like this. So this riff has us moving a little bit higher up on the neck, right? So the frets that I'm going to be using are the 3rd frets of the E string and the A string. I'm also going to need the 7th fret of my A, 5th fret of my A. I'm going to jump back down to the 2nd fret of the A. So from low to high, the notes I need are 3rd fret of the E, 2nd fret, 3rd, 5th, and 7th of the A. dance around, review those notes, make sure that I know where I'm going. This is where using your fret markers are a very good idea. Making sure that you recognize where your dots are. Most ukuleles have fret markers starting on the 5th fret. And you'll see another one on the 7th fret, and I've got one on the 10th fret as well here. This is same deal. On this ukulele, I've got a fret marker on the 5th fret, 7th fret, 10th fret, and then this ukulele goes up to 17 frets, so I've got 12th fret. So because I have more frets, I've got an extra marker. The same is true of my tenor. I've got marks a little bit farther up the neck as well. And you've also got those fret markings here on the top of your neck. All right, so let's play this in little chunks. So we're starting on the 3rd fret of the E string with just a note all by itself. And we're gonna play that again, but I'm quickly gonna play the 3rd fret of the A string right after it. So you can kind of practice that little feel. And I've got my pointer finger barring both of those strings, so I don't have to worry about using 2 fingers. I know that I'm gonna need to go up to these higher frets, so I'm just using my pointer finger right here on the 3rd fret because I know that I'm gonna have to go higher. I want to reserve these fingers for those higher frets. And I'm gonna have to go high real quick. So I want my pinky finger to be ready for that 7th fret while I'm holding down these 2 fingers. And depending on what your dexterity is like, it might take a little while to even stretch out to reach those frets, like while you're holding down the 3rd fret to be able to reach the 7th fret. Even though the ukulele is a small instrument, our hands might not be, practiced in stretching out like that. So give yourself the practice if you need it. Now, 3rd fret of the E, 3rd of the E, 3rd of the A, and then jumping up to the 7th fret. Then we're going to play the 5th fret of that A string. You might have noticed I was debating which finger to use, and I think I want to use my middle finger there. Watching a mirror image of myself playing that. I should not look at the me on the screen and just trust my fingers. Now I am leaving my pointer finger right here anchored on the 3rd fret. You don't have to at that point. Once you get to the 7th fret and 5th fret, you can kind of start repositioning your hand because you're going to have to go back down here and kind of reposition again anyway. Let's get to that point and then we'll talk about repositioning. So play that a few times. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now spend as much time with that as you need to. If you're not used to kind of playing these kind of little licks up on the neck of the ukulele, it might take you a little bit of time, and that's totally cool. So just chill with that as long as you need to. After we've got that down, and we can finish the phrase by jumping down to the 2nd fret of the A string, back up to the 3rd fret of the A string, down to the 2nd, and then it starts over down here. Okay, so all together. And then it starts over again. So that's what we want that ending part to sound like. Now, when I go to repeat this phrase, because we want to in the song, I'm going to be playing it 4 times in a row. Now, when I'm ending the phrase on the 2nd fret of the A string, and then I have to go directly down to the 3rd fret of the E string where I started. Now, I'm inclined to use my middle finger there. But as you know, I was using my index finger before. But I needed to get from here to here, and I definitely don't want to use my index finger to do that. But that first note is kind of sitting all by itself. And that's going to give me time to reposition my fingers. So I'm switching from my middle finger to my pointer finger. So I'm doing a quick substitution. I'm going to play the whole thing, and you can watch how it repeats. So I'm going to do a little swap there. Slow motion. Middle finger. Swap my index. Swap. Middle. Swap. Okay. So, again, if you're not used to playing those kinds of melody lines or lead lines on the ukulele, that might take a little bit of practice, and that's totally fine. Take as much time as you need. Hang on to those tips. Practice little bits and pieces of it until you can put it all together. All right, the ahs. I wrote in the ahs part just if you're not singing the song, if you're just playing the song, this will kind of like give you that same that same vibe that's going on there when everything kind of stops and it's just the we'll shake it up, baby, now. So those notes, the "We'll Shake It a Baby Now" notes that are written on the page, that's just there to give you context for where you are in the song. But the notes that you would be singing, the ahs, we start off with the 2nd fret of the C string, which is a D note. 2nd fret of the E string is next, which is an F sharp note, followed by your open A string, an A note. And we finish off with a couple of the 3rd fret on the A string, which is the C. So I'm going to play that again, like that. So we're spelling out the notes in a D7 chord is what's happening here. So 2nd fret of the 2nd fret of the C string, 2nd fret of the E string, open A, 3rd fret of the A. Just repeat that. That's all there is to it. Then the outro. Love this. So the outro kind of truncates the ahs and rolls into this really cool chromatic run of guitar chords. So again, I wrote in a couple notes for the ahs section, again to help give us context. So we start off with the 2nd fret of the C string, and the 2nd fret of the E string, then the open A string. Okay, and here's where it changes though. Now instead of continuing the ahs, now we're doing this little outro riff. We're jumping to chords now. Now I'm starting on a D7 chord here. If I was playing the chords for the ah section, I'd be playing a D chord anyway. But when I get to this point in the song, I do want to make sure that I'm using this voicing, where I'm using my pointer finger and middle finger So my pointer finger is barring the 2nd fret, my middle finger is on the 3rd fret of the A. Now the reason I'm doing this is because what's going to happen is I'm going to slide this chord shape up the neck, and it's easier for me to move 2 fingers than it is for me to move 4 fingers all evenly across. So I play that D7 2 times, then I slide up and I play the 3rd fret, then the 4th fret, then the 5th fret, then the 6th fret, and finally the 7th fret. And I end the song by hitting that one more time up there. Now, if you listen to the recording, you'll probably notice that there's, like, the timing kind of feels a little bit different there. Everything's slowing down a little bit. That's common at the end of a song to kind of slow down dramatically. And there's a little bit of a rhythm change happening here too. Now we're playing these quarter note triplets. So we're playing 2 groups of 3 in the place that we were playing 4 beats. So it sounds like this. Triple it, triple it. Again, I'm counting in groups of 3 now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And that's where we end. We end up there on the 7th fret, barred with my index finger, and my middle finger is on the 8th fret. And that is Twist and Shout in a nutshell. There are ways that we can keep it super, super easy, and we've got a lot of options to help spice it up, both from just our strumming pattern that we're using to all of these riffs and licks and solos and the outro. So there's a lot of fun to be had with this seemingly simple song. I am going to be moving in next week. So while we're on the road, I was thinking of just throwing some songs together for another sing-along or strum-along, and posting that for next week. So if you've got any ideas, any songs that you'd like to strum along with, let me know, and I will include them in the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, I hope you enjoyed the song. Keep on strumming, stay healthy, and I will talk to you all next week.